Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my home here in Santa Monica, California, and welcome to another Planting with Jewelyn. I am home for 1 week in between my Las Vegas work weeks. I'm leaving in 2 days, and right before I leave for a handful of days, I love being able to take care of my collection. If there's any plants that need to be moved into a different planter, maybe move back into the greenhouse, come out of the greenhouse. There's a bunch of plant babies that I got from plant trays from subscribers that have been living either in semi-hydro or in a water vessel that I would also like to plant up into soil. So I hope you guys enjoy this very casual video. The first thing I want to do is add the cuttings that I got from Sonia, my plant friends. She's also a patron of mine. My sister's cuttings that I got from her mother plant. Now there is some roots happening here. They've been living in the greenhouse, and I just want to take care of them and stick them into my planter with my mother plant and just kind of forget about them. Now if you guys are interested, there is a few loose cuttings in here I don't mind taking from. I know a bunch of you guys have never seen the Cissus quadrangularis before, so I definitely don't mind selling off. I think I have this cutting available and a few smaller ones here. I believe I have 3 smaller ones here if you guys are interested, but I'm just gonna go in really quickly and add her cuttings to mine. And this plant has been living in my patio, doing so well. I just filmed my pot of fame video, so if you haven't watched yesterday's video or the video that went up prior to this one on the main channel, check it out. I highlighted a bunch of babies, including this mother plant that had given me new growth. But I figure, why not add this plant baby in today's video, fixing it up and just adding it in my planter while I'm taking care of a bunch of cuttings. So I'm just not gonna touch this. This plant is very fragile, so once you plant it up, it's like a senecio or a sedum. You don't want to touch them because they're going to be falling apart. So I just want to add a little bit more soil and forget about this plant. And I have it in an area where there's not much foot traffic, so I don't accidentally bump into it. But as I speak right now, my squirrel that lives in my tree, there's a bunch of them. There's one that actually drinks out of my fountain. He's really huge. They eat, and the pine cones, the core of the fresh pine cones falls into my patio. All the crumbs falls into my patio. It's a 24-hour thing, and sometimes the pine cones end up dropping on a plant and ruining a plant, but there's really nothing I can do. So I just hope that wherever I put this plant, a pine cone won't fall on it. I've had several plants ruined because of that, but it is what it is. I just have to be thankful that I have this outdoor space. So just a quick little fix up because her cuttings were rooting, so I just took it back here, and you can see my new cutting. You can see my new plant baby here growing out. So very fun, quirky, interesting plant. I just wanted to take care of him before I get to my other plant babies. Now this is where it gets super exciting. I want to take care of my stapelia cuttings because they are rooted and been living in my greenhouse for a while. This was from several different subscribers, and I got them in plant trays, so I just want to take care of them. I want to put it into a terracotta planter, and this will live probably in the front of my house. I'm thinking this is going to live in the front of my house. So I just have soil in here, and if you're interested in my potting bench, I always mention my Amazon affiliated link to my Amazon shop is in my description box, along with my mailing address and all of my social media links to find me. So I'm just going to just stick them in this terracotta planter, and they will join the plant gang outside. I love stapelias. I'm thinking out of all the stapelias I have, all of them were either gifted or traded from plant friends or subscribers. I think I might have purchased one, but the rest are all from plant trades or gifted. So that's pretty fun. Let's see here. They look weird and interesting, but I'm sure once they have their time in this new setup in the front of my studio, they'll start looking at its full potential. I see a lot of roots everywhere, but I don't want to fuss with it too much. I just want to set it up and forget about it. So very easy to propagate and make more babies. And I have a couple mother plants, so if any of you guys are interested in stapelia cuttings, I definitely don't mind taking from my collection. So for now, they're looking wild and crazy in here, but definitely something I wanted to take care of, so glad that is out of the way. Next thing I want to take care of is my Tradescantia furry kittens. Now these were part of my plant haul from my plant friend, my Patreon subscriber Sonia, and they're all rooted. So I think what I want to do is just put it in a white plastic nursery planter, and I'm probably gonna try to either, if not in the patio, in my bathroom. I know I say bathroom a lot, but all of my Tradescantias that are living in my bathroom are doing so good, and I definitely don't mind taking from my Tradescantia collection. And I am posting on my Patreon plant babies for sale, so if you are into seeing behind the scene photos or what I'm up to with plant life, or plant babies for sale, or merchandise for sale, or my resin art for sale, consider being one of my Patreons. It's a very fun way to get benefits and help the channel if you guys enjoy the daily uploads. So I'm probably, yeah, this looks good for now. When it gets a lot fuller and bigger and I go through the collection, and in time this will get a big plastic planter, but for now it'll just be in a small white nursery planter for the time being. I'm gonna be gone for 5-6 days, so I'll come back and take a look at the furry kittens to see if it likes living in the bathroom. But just a quick little switch and just to check up on the roots to see how it's doing. My pilea, my aluminum plant cuttings, lots and lots of roots. Now this plant gave me so much drama when I first got it from my subscriber, but I didn't know what to do, so I put it back into water and it did really well. But then it shed a lot of leaves while I was away for 9 days. So I want to try to have it live in soil this time around while I'm away. And if it's not happy, then I will put it back into leca. I think I'll do semi-hydro for this plant. So this will live in my bathroom. I feel like it's going to do best in my bathroom. I'm living in my plant shelf in my studio, but I want to try to give it some time in soil in the bathroom. Let's see how it does. Now there is a few cuttings. We have 1, 2, 3 plant cuttings. We have a Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. We have a Peperomia obtusifolia variegata, and we also have a Philodendron bipenifolium, or the horsehead panda. These are just cuttings that maybe fell off, or I took a cutting from it to sell and I had extra, and I just been rooting it up in water. So these are for sale because I have huge mother plants. I don't have to put this back into the planter where it came from. And these are gonna live in my greenhouse. So if any of you guys are interested, reach out to me, Planting with Jewelyn, on Instagram in a direct message. So I'm just going to just put them in soil and they'll live in the greenhouse. Whether I sell, gift, or trade, I wanted to at least take care of them and get them off of my shelf in my studio so I can make room for more plant babies. So this is a perfect cutting if you guys are interested. My mother plant is really, really huge. And I have 2 Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. So I don't mind selling this cutting if you guys are interested. And there you go. Did you guys hear that? That was the pine cone that the squirrel was eating that fell and dropped all over. and I see the cords on my potting bench. It's a never-ending story with these squirrels. Every day I have to blow through my patio like 5 times a day to get rid of the trash from the tree, plus all the pine cone crumbs and the cores. So another Hoya for sale from my mother plant, and then another philodendron cutting from my mother plant. Both of my mother plants are doing really good. After this, I'm just gonna spend the rest of my evening making poles from moss and coco coir. So I'm gonna make 2 versions. I've shared it on the channel before. Moss poles, I love using my big fish net over it, and I use the fishing line, and then with the coco coir poles I use just like a copper thin wire. So I'm gonna be making a bunch of poles because I went to my local hardware store like a week ago or something, and I bought a lot of poles because my plants are growing really big and they're like 2 feet past its original pole I made for them. So I'm going to be doing some switch outs. A bunch of my smaller philodendrons needs poles to grow up on, so they're going to use those poles, and I'm going to make my large philodendrons that outgrew its poles, I'm going to make them new ones. One of my monsteras also needs to be on a pole, so I'm just going to be doing that for the rest of the day. Be making a lot of poles. So here's another Hoya. This is the Australis Lisa Variegata, and this was given to me from one of my subscribers in Long Beach, and it wasn't doing good with her. She had gifted it to me in a terracotta planter, but I decided to put it into a water vessel and it perked up. It really liked being in water, so I'm gonna give it a second try here into soil and see if it likes living in this setup. If not, I will have it live in leca, because I know for sure Hoyas love living in semi-hydro. Here's another fun one. Let's take care of this. This is my philodendron mandianum. It was part of my plant tray from another subscriber. Lots of water roots. So I want to plant it in this white planter. I think that's gonna look good. And again, when I'm back home next week, if any of them are looking sad and upset, then I can at least catch it in time to move it into a different setup. But I definitely wanted to take care of this philodendron because I came back after being away for 9 days and it lost one of its leaves, and I'm like, okay, it's time. So here it is. What do you guys think? It's an interesting shape cutting, but I'm gonna work with it, and it'll live probably on my shelf in my studio. Okay, here is a rare plant that I got as part of my trade with my Long Beach subscriber, and this is a Jade satin pothos or Scindapsus, and it's been living in semi-hydro for a while. Look at this. Oh my goodness. But I want to give it soil, so I just have a planter that actually my philodendron Birkin was living in, but it got so big I just moved it into a bigger planter, and now I have a home for my Scindapsus here. Comment down below if you have this Jade satin pothos Scindapsus. It's a rare one, so hopefully you're happy to be living in soil. I actually got this from my trade with my subscriber back in December, so it's been living in semi-hydro for 9 months and it hasn't done anything for me. It looked like this when I got it, so let's see what it does for me. Okay, so this is another plant tray that I got, also living in semi-hydro, but I felt like it was time to get it out of this vessel, and hopefully it'll love living in soil. Look at all of these roots. Okay, babies in semi-hydro, but I wanted to have this one spread its wings. So my painted lady is moving into this planter, which my philodendron maximum was living in, but I just moved him too into a bigger planter because I'm about to stake him up on a pole. So stay tuned for the next video. Okay. This is so fun to see all my plant babies graduate. You love living in soil, as you are having a blast in semi-hydro. Okay, painted lady, you look great. That's all for you. Take a look. I will keep an eye out on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was very therapeutic for me to do this and just see them transition into their new home. I like doing plant friend shoutouts on my Planting with Jewelyn episode. Today's plant friend shoutout is going to Jade and Bond, posted up today in one of my videos, saying here, love your Tridescantia collection, update soon please. Yes, I know I mentioned it in a previous video, but I am going to do my top 10 series. 10 houseplants, 10 succulents, 10 cacti. I haven't done that, I don't think, this year, and that's one of my favorite series. The collection grows by the week, so I always have different favorites, and I could actually have different favorites every day. I'm sure you guys can agree. So I'll do that series first, then we'll go back into the collective series, which I know is really popular and also fun for me to see them ganged up. But a lot of plant babies that I got from subscribers through plant trades. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you found this video relaxing. It's very fun for me to throw on an apron on and just play with plants and share my journey with all of you guys. So if you guys are interested in my Cistus quadrangularis, I definitely don't mind taking from it. These plant babies are up for adoption. You might see it in an upcoming Thursday check-in. If I can film that before I go to Las Vegas, I will. As well as my stapelia. I have a bunch more that I can take from. Other than that, I can't take from these because they're too small yet, and I don't have a big mother plant since these were gifted to me from plant trade. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel Monday to Thursday and the vlog channel Friday to Sunday. You get a video each and every day. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye.